it looks so dark because it's kind of overcast today. But other than that, hello and welcome to the stream. If this is your first time here, I'm going to try to clean my eyes. And my name is Shira. I'm a comic artist. What I usually do is, if anything artistic or fun happened during the week, I talk about that a little bit. And then we move on to watching me draw my weekly webcomic, Bootleg Cookie, while I fret over my computer fan. Rotika Gosh is now following the party from Facebook, so welcome to the party. Thank you for watching. Though honestly, between you and me, every time I see someone following from Facebook, I always think it's probably a bot. I mean, none of these people interact. At least the people on Twitch and YouTube interact a little bit sometimes. But nobody on Facebook interacts. That's why I kind of doubt that they exist. If you're real, I appreciate the support. But I have doubts. But yeah, returning viewers, I finally got my hair cut. I feel so much better. It's so much cheaper on shampoo. And yeah, I'm trying to stream a little bit more in the dark to try and give my fan a chance. Hi, Coco. Let's see. Speaking of real people, now I got Pretzel going on my friendly streaming app, because at least like that I don't have to struggle to write down the address every time. But I also found out if you try to minimize the window, it just stops the entire thing, so yeah. So, artistically, as usual, I can't show anything that I'm working on right now. Next week, I will be working on the final page of It's a Wonderful Life. So, next week, for supporters, that will be the last early access update for Smack for a while. I will probably make an announcement, because the last Smack Direct that was done in like 2021, I don't know, it's been a couple years, finished at It's a Wonderful Life, and now there's a ton of people that are convinced that the comic ends at It's a Wonderful Life. It does not. The comic is not ending, and it's a wonderful life. I should make that a video in itself. Like, just 5 seconds of me, like, in your face. Like, the comic is not ending! But no, because we are planning to make another Smack Direct. I have my lines. I will be recording them after I'm done with It's a Wonderful Life. And yes, the quacking is very important in the title. You have to quack your wah. It's not It's a Wonderful Life, it's a wonderful life. You have to quack the wah. That's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I kind of hosed down my Pepsi earlier for lunch. I had a homemade submarine. So I'm probably going to be burping a lot. I'm hearing feetsies. Those better be my parents, because I am recording right now and I do not have the time to get robbed. So yeah, there's that. I'm also trying to finish Whisper in the Winds. And I am also working on a 6-pager for an anthology. And I am really looking forward to getting some time to myself. Because, like, literally yesterday would have been nice to have some time to draw a little bit, but I did not. Like, I had to do, like, 1,000 chores, did some laundry, I was supposed to hem some pants. We tried my mom, like for context, my mom and I share the exact same model, same make sewing machine, except hers is broken and mine isn't. Better it goes up than down. Yeah. So we tried mom's machine again. It didn't work, so I had to go back into the basement, pick up my machine, drag it up the stairs, hem another pair of pants, and yeah, mom's machine is broken because mine, it did not slip a single stitch. And then drag the machine back down when we were done, and first thing I did when I got up after breakfast, we bathed Lily because she was crunchy and filthy. So we gave her a nice bath, and then we attempted to brush her because she has some matted parts on her legs and where her harness, there we go, where her harness is, because somebody will not brush her dog. But I had to do, I don't know if you guys can hear her, she's currently singing the song of her people, but it ended up with mom hemming the pants, and then I had to brush Lily because I am not afraid of brushing Lily. Lily will growl and I will go, yeah, I know. Itching, isn't it? You'll feel better after you get the brushing. Lily's mouth is about this big, okay? What's gonna happen if she bites me? That's either Uncle Marcel or my sister at the door, because I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it sounds like Lily is being crushed by a bulldozer. That's her happy noises. If she sounds in horrible pain, she's happy to see whoever's at the door. Yeah, that's my sister, yeah. So how about... Can I move that lower? Alright, that's perfect. I was worried because I tried to move my my fan monitor window lower without having all the windows like get out of the way, and it worked. So that's nice. So I'm going to move this over here, and then we're going to get started on the comic. I'm just going to put this on the multi-stream so I have access to all the chats. There we go. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything on to the there. Like that, I have access to everything. Perfect. So if you guys notice, the label machine holder, I should say, has been fully paid off, so thank you, Annan. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. There. You gotta at least see the top of my head. At this angle, I look like John Candy. Like, ah. So we moved on to the next goal. Eventually, I will put some really expensive shit up again. Like, I have some... Here's the thing. I have some really cheap stuff that I want on my throne wish list. Like, I got this little figurine of a heel slime that I want. It's like $7. But they won't let me put those as a goal. It needs to be both featured and crowdfunded. And they won't let me crowdfund when it's really, really cheap. So I'm working my way up, but eventually I will have to put some of the really expensive stuff. Like, the really expensive stuff I already got on crowdfunding. So like that, if you want, you can throw a couple dollars here and there. Like, I literally have a Sailor Moon onesie that I want, hoping that it technically comes in my size. I picked the biggest size already. Because my problem is that I am huge, but at the same time built but at the same time 5'2". So it's very hard to measure clothes for me. Like, literally, my best pair of jeans is a pair of capris that not only end at my, like, literally, they are capris. They are officially capris, and they end at my ankles. And not only do they end at my ankles, but I have to roll them up. So let's get started before I get mad. Gonna add the text first. That'll be one thing done. I did finish that piece I was talking about last week, and I do intend to post it on Patreon and Ko-fi for subscribers. I just didn't take the time to take a picture of it yet, or at least scan it. Honestly, today my eyes are kind of giving me issues. That is entirely my own fault. I got a new organizing game on my phone, and it has really small particles, so I've been looking at it like really close and focused. So I got some eye fatigue going on today. We got the text. Now how about we actually draw some shit to go with it? Oh, look at that. I had 4 new followers on Global Comics. For Smack, of course. I am up to 154 followers on Global Comics. Thank you, guys. Thank you for liking. Our work. Yes, it's our work because Gabe writes them. He's the reason they're funny. I'm the reason they're pretty. I was wondering, like, what is that me sounding tune? And I look up Joy-Con Live, and yeah. You guys know I am using the actual music files for video games from my portrait shorts. And sometimes people will go right ahead and grab credits for a song. Like on Facebook, my Terra portrait has been appropriated by this, I assume it's a rap artist, and to say that the song that I use come from his album, and what he did is he grabbed Thera's theme and then he put some offbeat rap lyrics on top of it called Where's She At? And it's literally Thera's theme with his out of beat lyrics. I have to say out of beat because he's literally rapping, he's not singing. And I'm like, bitch, maybe if your lyrics were actually in the song I used, but you did not write Thera's theme. Of course I wrote to Facebook, but you know damn well they're not gonna do anything about it. You know, we had a power hiccup this week. We had like literally an 18-minute thunderstorm, which made the power hiccup. I was kind of hoping that forcing the computer to restart would do something about the fan, but nope. It still struggles a bit when I'm streaming now. And I don't know why, because it works perfectly fine when I have this many, if not more, software on at the same time. And then the bandwidth is what's making my computer run out of breath. Speaking of, I'm starting to get a little hot myself, so I'm gonna turn on the fan. So if you suddenly hear some fan noises, it's not the Mac. It's the fan I have on top of my printer. Like, preferably, it would be nice if I could put the fan here, but I got a lot of stuff here. My entire space needs a reorganizing, you wouldn't believe. Which, as some sort of a segue, I'm still thankful to part-time booties. Because if I'm not mistaken, Dudette helped pay for the paper organizer that I have right here off screen, and that it helps tremendously. Oh my goodness. Super Dudette 808. There we go. It's a super I was missing for a minute there. Also, the fan is a little high for my taste, and I don't know if you guys can notice, but trying to draw fast is not as smooth as usual, so... Oh. So my phone just tried to reconnect. Did something happen on your end, guys? Now, so I know I talked about it last week, but it's official as of this week. I have uploaded the Stuart Simple free tone palette for free on the Ko-fi shop, and it is updated with YOLO, which is a new color that we couldn't see by eye before. Cheap Buzz, which is a dupe of Peach Fuzz. Viva Magenta, which is a dupe of Viva Magenta. And the Not Klein Blue, it has another name. I think it's a Simple International Blue or something like that. That's not a dupe of anything. It is Stuart Simple's copyrighted blue. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And I have in the description, because of course all I did was ask one of the supporters to help me translate the palette from Adobe to Clip Studio. And then I program, quote unquote, the extra color dupes into it, and then I posted it in my Ko-fi shop for free. The original palette is free, so it only makes sense that the Clip Studio Paint CSP version be also free. And I wrote in the description what each extra color is and a link to where you can purchase them, because of course whenever Stuart comes up with another color and or another dupe, he has the pigment and or paint at his shop, so each color is linked to its own shop. Now, he used to know about this project of mine. I did talk to him about it. I don't know if he remembers. Right now, he is over his head with stuff. So if he's not happy, he is more than welcome to ask me to put it down. Personally, I don't think he will. Because he keeps saying that his goal is about sharing the color, and I am sharing the color with people who don't happen to have Adobe Photoshop. I see I did good to put the fan on because my computer is starting to get back down. So it's really a thing of the temperature in the entire room. Also, Dad is not admitting it, but I think he likes when you guys like him. Because here's the cute thing with Dad, okay? He will talk about himself like all grandiose. Like, it's such a curse to be this beautiful type of stuff, you know? But if you guys say he's great, he will feel good about it, you know? So anybody else notice that a lot of companies nowadays are doing what they call a tariff sale? Like, despite who shall not be named, desperate attempts at throwing everything in the gutter, these companies are trying to make the best of what is going on. And it's all about pointing out how Canadian friendly they are. And how they are trying to remain affordable despite the tariffs. I mean, I appreciate the hustle. And also, there's something weird going on. I got my caffeine goodness from the pop machine, feeling much better. That's good. I haven't seen any sales like that in Eagle Land. Oh, here, they're all labeled that. Either Canadian or tariff sale, or both at the same time. Not happy with that. Over here, we're due for another another stop of the post services. And people are like, well, use FedEx, use this, use that. I can't. I live in a rural area. And the one time I used FedEx, they fought me the entire way. Because according to local FedEx, we do not have access to expedited parcel. We can only send regular parcels, and then they will fight you for picking it up, and then they will fight you the entire time there. Like on its way. So yeah. And of course, whether Canada Post is on strike or not, trying to send anything to Eagle Land right now. Like on the Canadian comic groups that I'm part in, someone said that they had sent Kickstarter rewards from Canada to the US, and it was all cancelled and sent back. Because apparently the box itself needs to have a sticker that says Made in Canada. And then each product inside is supposed to also have a sticker that says Made in Canada. Because apparently they were looking for Chinese bootlegging. Speaking of delivery, I had to call Amazon and tell them to tell the drivers not to give Building 1's packages to Building 2. Heck, and I just have issues with doors. Like, I literally caught a delivery driver this morning. And just saying that is weird because usually we don't get any mail at all during the weekend. So we know that guy was not with the Canada Post to start with. I don't know how it's going in the cities, but here we don't get mail during the weekends. And of course he went for the front door. The front door that is tiny, rickety, with a broken doorbell, and hidden behind trees, instead of the nice big safe looking patio, which is like right there, which is like less walking for them. And even if the doorbell wasn't broken, they don't ring the doorbell anyway. But now we have 3 functioning security cameras. So I got the notification on my phone, I looked up, I played it back, and I see this guy dropping a package like right up against the door to make sure we really don't see it if we didn't have the security cameras. Like, then I just sent a text to that package at the front door. For those wondering why, if it's so rural, we have security cams. We had someone try to burn down one of our sheds a couple winters back. We did not appreciate that. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that I had to wait for Gabe's feedback in between each step, I would probably do like a Patreon only live stream of the final page. But sometimes I have to wait like hours in between me sending the comic page to Gabe and then getting an answer. And then of course there's the fact that I take breaks to give my eyes and my back breaks. Speaking of, I've been really good this week about taking my breaks, except of course when I'm streaming, because I don't think you guys would want to look at an idle screen for 20 minutes. And whatever back pain I did have, I took care of super fast thanks to my torture mat. Not a sponsored live stream, but the brand I use is Shakti. It's expensive, but it works. Not sponsored. I'm not being paid to say this. But yeah, the pain has been down to an absolute minimum. And last week I struggled because I was attempting to switch my treadmill time from the morning to the evening because I don't work in the evening. I was thinking, you know, like that I would have that much more time in the morning to work. But that absolutely completely failed because just to do it on purpose, every evening my parents needed something. So the week we just passed, I moved the treadmill back to the morning and I was able to do treadmill every day this week. If anybody's worried, Dad is sitting in a normal chair. He's not in a wheelchair. Also, I don't draw them because when I draw them, they look about the same as my beauty mark. I have dimples. So yeah, I'm adorable. And that's a thing you know. It's less pronounced here, but... Oh yeah, dumbass. There is some big art news, or should I say comic news. I'm not gonna say which one so they don't get attacked again, but there's a manga translation site that got hit with a huge cease and desist, and they had to take down like thousands of translated manga. And that sucks, honestly, because people are like, yeah, well then you won't buy manga. Yeah, it's true. Coco has dimples. I've seen her a couple of times. They're well, the entire face is cute, so of course the dimples are cute. And like I was saying, because then people say, well, if you get to read it for free, then you don't buy the manga. The thing is, with mangas on that specific site, usually they're not available everywhere. And with their translation services, usually that's what convinces Japanese creators to okay translating their work for the West. Because saying that being able to have something for free will prevent you from wanting to buy the thing. Okay, I have access to a lot of books on a certain site that will also not be named, but it's a resource site. And like the minute I can get it as an actual book, you better believe, like, well, here's a paid example, okay? I paid twice, and I knew what I was doing. Beneath the Threes, Where Nobody Sees, which the sequel is coming out this July, and I still haven't figured out how to pre-order the fucking thing. But when it initially came out, it came out as episodes, 6 episodes, which I bought because I couldn't wait for the book, which I bought digitally each every time they came out. And then I had the complete collection in my Kindle app. And then when they finally announced the print version, I frickin' jumped on that. Beautiful Darkness, the comic, not the series of novels. I have to specify that because if you look up Beautiful Darkness on Amazon, you're gonna get like 15 books. So I'm specifying the comic. I actually watched a hour and a half long, I think, video that was reviewing the entire thing, spoiling everything, showing every page, every panel for free on YouTube. And what did it make me do? It made me once again go straight to Amazon to order the paper copy. So yeah, having access to a free version of something, even if it's a complete version, having access to a free version of something does not mean that you will never buy the paid version. There you go. Here's another example of me being cheap as fuck. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, okay? Microtransactions in it was in that format for 7 years. I didn't spend a freaking nickel on that, on the microtransactions. But then they announced that they were closing down the servers. And I was like, you see, this is why I didn't spend a goddamn nickel. But then they announced Pocket Camp Complete, which you had to pay for, and it's missing a couple social tools because they have no servers to hold these on. So socializing on it is a little different and frankly offline, no contact, etc. which is not that different from before. Well, the marketplace doesn't exist anymore. So there's that. But they were like, the app is going to be like $20. And I'm like, you know what? One, I worked too hard on this camp. Secondly, I was patient for 7 years. I am invested in this little camp and the little animals. You know what? I will pay for the complete version. And now the microtransactions are all like in-game money, so I don't have to spend real money to participate in the microtransaction. So in the end, I won. I had a goal and I succeeded, so I don't mind paying for the full version of the game. Before we ink, don't forget to hydrate, folks. While I'm here, I'm going to change the color of the text layers so I can find them easier. I paid the introductory rate. I feel bad for people who missed out on that. Yeah, they had it cheaper as an introductory rate, but apparently it was just in the States because I had to pay full price. But regardless, therein lies my point. And it doesn't mean... My point doesn't mean that if you have access to something for free and you never pay for the paid version that you're a bad person. That is not the point. Because you gotta take circumstances into the matter. Like, there's a lot of math involved in this type of situation. And sometimes company will not do the math. And they'll just want to complain. Yeah, but if it was you, I'm not a company. I am one idiot trying to eat every day. If you have a game saved, you have until June 2nd to migrate your Pocket Camp save data to the Pocket Camp Complete. Yeah, that's true. They announced it again, and like, I have the newsletter, I have the calendar app. Like, they want to make sure you don't forget that, but like, I transferred on day 1, so like, I was on the original version of the app on day 1. And it was boring as fuck. There was nothing to do. Like, sure, you could build some stuff, and you could craft stuff, and befriend animals. Like, you know, stuff you could do. Partly in New Horizons, partly in the original Animal Crossing. But there were no events when the game started. There were no events, no calendar, nothing. And then they started slowly incorporating events. Like, for a couple of years, they were celebrating the anniversary of the app with specially colored cake and table settings and stuff like that. But they didn't even do it for all 7 years. Am I getting a Switch 2 at launch? No, I can't afford it. I'm trying to think if I ever got a console at launch. I don't remember. I couldn't earn enough to get things without real money. That's why I didn't mind paying for the complete version, because now you don't have to use real money. You use your real money once, it was affordable, and now you just have to do activities to earn the microtransaction money to buy the microtransaction items. Like, I know... Would it count if it's a model? Or does it have to be the very, very first? Model of a certain console, because I'm thinking, like, when they announced A Link Between Worlds, there was a matching 3DS console, and I already had a 3DS, but that was a 3DS XL, and I was like, oh my god, I need that golden 3DS XL, and I got it with the game. I know I got my Switch in Walmart when I was finally able to afford it. Before that, there was the Wii U. I don't remember how I got my Wii U, but I know it wasn't on launch. It was definitely not on launch because it was the Wind Waker. It's the Wind Waker edition I got. But I don't remember if I got it myself or if it was a gift. The Wii was a gift, definitely. The GameCube I got because I was depressed. The Nintendo 64 I got because I won a contest. It was a nativity scene contest. And I won because I made my nativity scene out of seashells. And it was the only one like that. Because I was big on crafting with seashells at the time. And then with the money from little baby Jesus, I bought a 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time. Super Nintendo and Nintendo were obviously gifts because I was way too young to have my own money. It's nice to have that wind on the side of my face like that without hair insulating me. Eventually my dream would be to get a different model of disc, like more open. Like if I could get an L-shaped desk and not necessarily with shelves already on it, like on this end I could put my printer on top, and then there's paper organizers that I could put under it. And like this one right here, if it's a little, it's like even with the desk I have now, so it would be like at the end over here. And right now I'm looking at other caddies, like a different model. This one is perfect for what I need it for. I need a different model that I want to put on the other end of my drawing desk to put all my envelopes for when I'm shipping and stuff like that. Then preferably with a flat top, so I can then put some art supplies on top while I'm using them. Because right now, like, I have this ancient now, but still very good Hello Kitty stool that I'm using to put my markers on. And then I use my markers as a makeshift table to put my watercolors on when I'm not using my markers. Like, I could put it on my throne, but I like to look locally first, because I know we got a Canadian Tire. So, I've been looking there first, and they got similar models than the one I have, just not in pink. But if I can save a couple bucks, or a couple days waiting, I don't mind not having something not in pink, you know? Besides, spray paint exists. I mean, really, as long as it's not beige, you know? You guys know, if you've been here for a while, that I have a personal vendetta against beige. I'll go right out and say it, especially when mothers, like, force that color on their babies at a stage of their lives where they need bright colors. Well, that's not exactly true. Like, when they're like brand new, some beige is okay, preferably black and white, so they can start seeing values and contrasts. Then you up the colors. How are you so very unofficial? Big fan, by the way. Hello, Dread Devil. I am great. How about you? I like hearing when someone says they're a big fan. Because it is very rare, because what I usually hear online is, I would like to buy your art as an NFT, or I would like to have permission to use one of your pieces to paint a mural. So it's nice to talk to somebody that's actually real. The compliments are a bonus. Well, while we wait for the answer, and, well, we got somebody new in chat. I am good, too. That's good. Anything interesting you did this week? Artistically speaking? And please keep it safe for work, so I don't get yelled at. I like to think I've been very good on cussing today, so let's keep it that way. You know, knock on wood, I managed to spend the entire week without somebody on DA trying to scam me, so yay! I was supposed to do some signage for Dad, but I literally started in my Cricut app and then realized I needed to update because I haven't updated since last year. That's how often I use the poor Cricut machine. And then I got up and went to look at my collection of vinyls, and I was like, fuck, I used up all my black. So I had to order some. Why? What happened? More like what didn't happen, thank God. Because I was extremely busy this week, so... Well, here's the thing, I have tons of art done. Can't show any of it. Except maybe the penultimate page to Smack, but that's for supporters on Patreon and Ko-fi. That's scumbags. Yes, I agree. But like I said, they've been very good this week. None of them contacted me. I like to imagine they all live in the same bunker and rumors started to spread. They'll be like, oh no, not that one, they're mean. Don't bother, you're just gonna waste your time. I still remember the one that I managed to piss off. Like, they sent me their script, and I wrote in French. No, wait, they sent me their script in English, and At first, I wrote, if I'm not mistaken, I know I didn't delete that interaction. But I wrote in English, I don't understand English, can you write in French? And then they translated their script in French. And then I replied, in French, I don't understand French, can you say it in Spanish? And then they replied, in Spanish? May God punish you for making me waste my time. Excuse me, you're wasting mine. I'm the one taking the time to reply to you. There's another one that I literally said. Another mural one that I literally said, oh, I stole a picture especially for you, just a minute, and I sent them a PNG of Mickey Mouse flipping the bird. And they fucking took me seriously. I'm sorry, I can't take that. And I'm like, what do you mean? I made it for you. Oh my god, I look so greasy. I'm just shiny. I'm a rare Pokemon. I'm not really bow-legged. I'm duck-feeted. I keep my feet like this and I walk like this. Only reason I drew myself bow-legged is to really put the emphasis on my ass. Oh, I know a lot of people that are going to be absolutely pleased with that sight. Oh, speaking of fetishes. I was reading the testimony of a trans woman that was finally living out the way she was meant to be. Gotta catch them all. She was meant to be. And of course, there's always somebody that has to complain about things that affects them absolutely zero. And their argument, while heavily misgendering the woman, was that being trans was a sexual fetish that trans people was forcing onto the populace, and that we get sexual satisfaction from other people calling us by our preferred pronouns. For the record, I'm non-binary. If you're not okay with that, feel free to leave. The door is right there. And as technically a trans person, because I don't identify as purely female, my gender is generally like, you know. So, my gender is disinterested. My pronouns are whatever. So, and I cannot stress enough, as technically a trans person, how unsexy this feels. Trust me when I say I do not get a thrill at having people gender me correctly. If a thrill there be, it's just happiness. Trust me, we're not horny. We are not horny. Especially not for you when you're being a bigot. And that's another thing. Because they say, you better not be horny for me. And we're like, we're not horny for you. And then they're offended because you're not horny for them. We're literally sitting here trying to have a shit. Like you're in a public bathroom, you're putzing on your phone, and suddenly a 4-year-old starts to try sliding under the door. And you can't do your first reflex because apparently kicking a 4-year-old in the head is frowned upon. And then you hear the mother on the other side, stop grooming my kid! I'm just playing Candy Crush over here, what the fuck? Now, I have yet to have people complain that I'm trying to piss in a public bathroom. But it's coming, if only because I have short hair. Because they have been completely cis women going into women's bathroom and getting attacked just because they don't look feminine enough. And literally the only thing that looks feminine on me is my hoodie. If I wear slightly tight clothes, then you can see that I have boobs, but so does my dad. So... And like fuck am I going to let my hair grow just for the privilege of pissing outside my house. They're trying to force kids to be like them. And no, we are not. We are not. We don't give a shit about your kid. The only time we care about if there are kids in the bathroom is when they start sliding under the door. Now, I didn't have any kids slide under the door, but I did have one, like, glare at me through the crack of the door, demanding that I get out of there. Like a little teeny tiny girl, all alone, no parents, of course. Like I was taking a pee break, and like I was at work in the public bathroom. So I had like the fancy female top, and I had a full face of makeup, like mascara, lipstick, jewelry, trying to pass for female. And this little goblin demanding to know what gender I am, because if I'm not a girl, I'm not supposed to be here. Okay, first of all, whatever I am is none of your business. Secondly, how am I the issue if you're the one looking at me shitting? And of course I couldn't do fuck all because I was punched in. And when I'm punched in, I have to be super nice and helpful and polite. Instead of being able to ask her where the fuck her mom was and to lead me to her, so I could tell her that her little girl likes to stare at people trying to have a shit. And trans people are the issue. Like, explain to me why your, I assume, is 6 or 7-year-old knows to try and look at people to determine if they're in the right bathroom. Somebody is doing some grooming here and it's not me. Shiro, didn't you have any store-assigned bathroom? There was exactly one bathroom that belonged to the stores. As in, we had 3 separate stores in the same mall. And there was one bathroom that belonged to the store. And it was on another floor, etc., etc. So it was way faster to just use the public bathroom. And yes, that story is already a bootleg cookie. Because what the fuck? You know what kind of thrill we get as trans people? Like when we go to the store and there's that candy bar we like and it's on special. That's about it. that ranks way up here, you know? Like, I know what I'm about, and I'm about Cadbury. Like, it's not even that hard to bribe me. Can you draw something for me? Well, can you pay me? No. Well, never mind then. Well, I have a Pepsi. What do you want? But yeah, when I read that, trans people... It's a fetish. Trans people get sexual pleasure from forcing you to participate in their kink. I'm like, oh, somebody has a kink here, but it's not trans people. You sound like you're projecting. I've had people near the end of a stream telling me that these types of subjects makes them uncomfortable and is against their religion. So, what are you doing here? Why did you take the time to listen? If you did not want to be educated, is my question. But you want to know why I'm not super loud and verbal about it online? It's not that I'm ashamed. Is that I am trying to keep my peace. Trust me, if a hater wants to hate, they find me. I don't need to trigger them. They trigger themselves perfectly fine. They are a strong, independent bigot that don't need no trans. Because in most of my descriptions, whenever I have the room, I do put some flags. But now that I think about it, I should probably go and check what I did put down to make sure I have some flags. That's another thing that's interesting on Twitter. Like and it's against my religion to be a dick to people. And in the end of the day, we are humans with different opinions, which actually makes us human. Yeah, because, like, I count as trans. And somebody cis is near me, I'm not gonna have a conniption. My mom is cis, my dad is cis. Like, I seriously don't care. Just tell me what you identify at, and I'll roll with it. But there are a lot of cis/neurotypical people that are not okay with that. You have to be like me. Being like me is normal. A cruel, judgmental prick? No thanks. I'll pass. I like to spread my cruelness, my judgmentalness, and my prickness instead of having all three at the same time to attack minorities. I would rather attack majorities, because apparently majorities are assholes. Rights are not pie. If we give rights to other people, you do not get less rights. Nobody is taking away your rights if rights are granted to people that are not like you. Oh my god, on Threads. Because they're still talking about this whole 51st state, apparently. An American, and like this post shows up and re-shows up a couple of times every time I go and take a look at Threads. About if Canadians would be willing to become the 51st state. If it meant, and like, they put all the good stuff first. So if it meant, like, you would have more power, better military, a couple other items that are supposed to sound superior, and give up healthcare, universal healthcare. And of course, every single Canadian with a brain to shake around that does a little rattle sound in there says no. I don't consider bigots people, though. Yeah, because people care about people. Bigots only care about the cruelty. The cruelty is the point. They would rather suffer themselves if it means that somebody else is also suffering. Like, literally, at the moment that this live stream is being recorded, our current Prime Minister is rolling out a dental plan program, a universal dental plan program. And there's Americans out there who expect me to say yes to giving universal healthcare up, including this brand new dental plan that I will qualify for sometimes at the end of the month. Do you hear yourself talk? Or in this case, do you reread yourself after you type? Because apparently having a strong military is better than having healthy soldiers, quote unquote. Having a strong military is more important than having a smart military. Like in the US, they're cheering big cuts to Medicaid because in their eyes, minorities don't deserve it, although a heck of a lot of rural white people are on it. But they're okay with it. Well, yeah, somebody's suffering. Good enough. The suffering is the point. Like, literally, you know the meme. I can't believe the leopard eating face, the party, are eating my face. You're not supposed to eat my face. And these people are the one that calls themselves the normal ones. Pretty I laugh. Or when you're not talking about religion at all, but you're talking about them, and then they go, I'm being a victim because I'm a Christian. You're being a victim specifically because you're not acting like a Christian. The leopards are feasting, and the ones being eaten are blaming liberals for it. They did it to own the libs, and now they can't even afford to rent the libs. Eventually I'll settle on a color for these chairs. I just don't care enough for continuity. Like, literally, you're only talking about bigots. Literally just saying bigots. And there's always somebody, yeah, well, conservatives have these virtues, or Christians are like this, and I never said anything about conservative and Christians. It is possible to be conservative, and it is possible to be Christian, without being a cruel motherfucker. It is possible. But if I talk about cruel motherfuckers and you assume I'm talking about you because of your political leaning or your religion, the problem is not your political leaning or your religion. The problem is you're a cruel motherfucker. And this is why I recently reblogged. And at the time of recording this live stream, a recent comic by Pizza Comic about not wanting to debate with people like that because, yeah, but what if you took the time to talk and understand? I am more than willing to take the time to talk and understand. But these people, usually, they don't want to talk. They just want to screech at you until you give in. And they don't even want you to give in, because then, if you give in, they don't have a reason to screech at you. And the entire thing is about screeching at you, because, lest we forget, the cruelty is the point. And because they enjoy cruelty so much. Indeed. Going back to trans people being a kink in public that you have to, that they make you participate in. The real public kink that people force you to participate in is bigots getting to scream at you and dominate you. That is the real public kink going on. So yeah, projecting much. I say while I color a panel of me slapping my butt. Hashiro, you're mean too sometimes. I am mean. I am not cruel. It is not cruel to block somebody from being a cruel motherfucker to my face. Empathy is a sin, according to maggots. Yeah, rules for thee, but not for me. Literally, Melon complain about empathy being a sin and having no place in the modern world. And then a week later, he was crying and flying back home because he was sick of politics, because everybody was mean to him in his car. Yeah, you know what that's called? When somebody is nice to you? Empathy! Crack open a goddamn book. We're almost done. I'm just... No. Before I put the washi, I think I'm going to finish here, and then I'm going to put the speech bubbles, because then I'll be able to see them better once I put the washi on. Also, this is going to sound like this is going to blow some people's minds, because there's always someone that complains, well, you're supposed to be an entertainer and you're supposed to entertain me. You shouldn't talk about politics because you know nothing about it. Like, you're just an actor, you're just this, you're just that. Yeah, well, your politics are affecting me, so yeah, I'm going to talk about it at times. A lot of times, even. So yeah, that's why you have cartoonists talking about politics, and that's why you have actors talking about politics. Because they live within that politicism. Hello, cartoon cat girl. Man, we got a lot of people today. That is a nice thing. And it better stay nice. I'm going to post the rules real quick. Again, let's refresh the rules. There we go. Well, it's always good to have the rules. Like, I believe in the teachings of Jesus on how to treat others. It's more important to love and help each other than it is to follow doctrine and unjust laws. Like, literally, the whole point of Jesus in the New Testament is to go against the unjust laws of the Old Testaments. Like, literally, the Bible says, the Bible always says not to mix two fibers into one garment. Karen, how many fibers in your shirt? Show me that sticker in the back. Show me. Show me your collar. No, I'm not gonna hurt you. I just want to read what's written on the sticker on your collar. I am not religious. I'm just saying sometimes I crack open a book. Not to mention karma. It's like I keep saying, I am shit at defending myself, but doesn't take me much to piss me off and defend somebody else, is what I'm saying. I wonder if today's comic is the day that some people are going to learn that I am in fact in my 40s. Surprise, I'm old! Everybody older than me, you're not that old. Everybody younger than me, wow, you are old. Just let me be my age, please. Like, I was looking at my hair in the mirror before the stream, and it is peppered with white hair, but my white hair is silvery, so it looks like tinsel. My cat Belle is piling her toys on her wet food to protect her tree. Oh, nobody will suspect the mound of toys on top of the bowl. Belle is a criminal genius. Kind of like Lily, who is somehow convinced that I'm always here to steal her treats. So the result will be stinky toys, yeah. So what she does is whenever I go upstairs and she sees me, she will make a big show of getting off of Dad, then on her own chair, because excusez-moi, Lily has her own chair. She's a little Maltese. Grab the treat that she hadn't eaten earlier to make sure I don't get it, make a big show of climbing back on Dad, and eats it on the spot. I've seen cats hide their treats in their cat trees, especially if their dog's about. There's that. Lily will patiently wait for you to give her something. Like, literally, you have to give it to her because to her it'd be like those toys that smell all fruity. Yeah, this works better when it's on the correct layer. Because the thing with Lily is that she will wait for you to give her something, but she is also an incredibly curious dog. But because she's also a polite dog that waits, we can actually let her, when we bring back groceries, she needs to inspect the groceries, see if there's something for her. So she will, like, run to the door, and if we put the grocery bags down, she will, like, sniff the bags, stick her head in the bags, sniff more, and we can trust her not to pick up anything that doesn't belong to her because we're not giving it to her. Because she's polite like that. She's a little lady. right. Time for one last look over. See if we colored everything. See that? This is why we have a look. Belle is a criminal mastermind. It finished loading. She tries to sneak people food while I'm not looking or get all cuddly when I have food next to me. Yeah, but you know better and trust her. Yeah, we're good for today. Just gonna have a little sippy sippy. Fan has been behaving. That's a good fan. And the fans have been behaving. Those are good fans. Proud of you guys. The only person that should be misbehaving is me, because I'm the one that makes the rules and I'm the oldest one. So yeah. For the record, at the time of recording this live stream, I am exactly 42 years old. I am the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And y'all gonna have to deal with that, biatch. So, because we're done, it is time to go to the end screen, where we give extra special caramel drizzled, rainbow sprinkled, chocolate syrup thanks to all our supporters: Amber B, Paul K, Miss Anavis, Sir E, Uttered, Bad at Multiplayers, Blast 6, Winter the Kitten, Matthew H. And I actually had a note to do it, and I forgot. We have Laura S, who is a new supporter. So, I'm sorry, I saw you, like, I had the note for a week and I still forgot to update the graphic. But you're welcome. Cartoon Cat Girl just said thanks for the stream. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And I'm sorry I forgot to actually put you on the screen, Laura, but you will be there next week, I promise. And, of course, the part-time support booties, Super Dudette 808 and Rocket Mouse. Your continued and or sporadic support is immensely appreciated. Next live stream is going to be next Sunday, May 25th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's my time, not your time. Maybe your time. I don't know you. I don't know your life. Hope you guys had fun watching me draw this. I had fun drawing it. I'll see you guys next week. I love you all. And bye-bye.